We all know the benefits of exercise for mental health, but what do we do when we are really, really down the drain and we have zero motivation, or we really don't know how to get ourselves to start a new fitness routine because of our mental health situation? So this is what this podcast and vlog is about. This is me uncovering a few tips for you, so when you want to try and really better your mental health but you don't know how, or you lack the motivation, you are set for success. I'm Ophelia, I am your holistic coach, and as you know, I struggle with anxiety, complex PTSD, anxiety disorder, and panic attacks. So being a coach, obviously for me, is a little bit easier because my job does force me to keep up with a well-being routine, and obviously that has been a major catalyst for me to manage my mental health. But what's happened when I don't want to train for myself, when I give so much to other people that I am drained at the end of the day and I just don't want to do my own practice? And that's happened a numerous amount of time. I'm also very busy, so like this would kind of fall back into my priorities and go really way back. So sharing with you my tips are what we are going to go through now. I've got 5 strategies that I use in order for exercise to be really useful and beneficial for my mental health. The first one is to make a plan. So it's quite important to understand what your needs are, and it's also understanding what you like doing. It's not just any plan, it's finding the plan that is right for you. And the cookie cutter plan that you will find online not necessarily are the one that are going to work for you, because they require a certain amount of discipline and focus. So when you buy something online, the only issue that can be a bit complicated is the fact that you get the overwhelm from knowing that you have to keep up, and sometimes the overwhelm gets you to give up. And that's why most people actually give up on New Year's resolution programs, plan, is because it hasn't been tailored to what they truly want, they truly need, and the stuff that they truly enjoy doing. So therefore, they haven't tailored this around their schedule, they haven't tailored this around their need, they haven't tailored this around their life and their lifestyle and their likes. Okay, so it's quite important to understand this. It's important to understand what are you happy to remove or reduce, such as I will monitor my social media, I will monitor the amount of time I spend on the TV, and I will maybe watch 1 episode less and do a workout instead, or do some movement instead. Also remember that any type of movement, it will be considered exercise in this case, because when you are down the gutter and you are struggling to get yourself up, even just a tiny bit of movement, putting a couple of songs on and dancing in your kitchen or in your living room is considered exercise. Trust me, that is just very important to understand, is that just this, even one song, getting up and dancing on one song, can be considered as exercise when your mental health is completely shut down. Yeah, so really try and figure out what activities you would like to cut down. Really try and find where it would be easy for you to fit some exercise. Yeah, it's also feeding into strategy number 2, you need to pick activities you enjoy. Again, if you get something or someone, if you get a coach, make sure that the coach is making you do stuff that you like, or stuff that is very easy to do. What I find really helpful is when I don't have to overthink about my exercise routine. So sometimes it can feel a bit repetitive and boring, which I get, but at the beginning, when you're trying to go to the gym twice a week, and that's your, for example, you want to start, you're doing 0, you start from 0 and you want to do one day a week where you just do a little bit of movement. It has to feel easy. It has to feel where you don't get up and you're like a chore. Yeah, so it's got to be something that you feel driven to do. And for that, for example, aerial classes are very nice, because if you like to socialize, or if you like that sense of accountability, It's nice to have that second person or that sort of community to get into. It feeds into another strategy as well, but just make sure you find something that you enjoy doing, because if it doesn't appeal to you, there is no way you are going to stick to it in terms of discipline. Let's remember that dreading going to the gym or dreading exercising is only just going to exacerbate your condition, okay? So strategy number 3, yeah, I'm doing 3 properly. Strategy number 3 is to set small goal and remain flexible. I love talking about big goals in life and big vision, and I agree that it's quite important that we keep these big visions in life. However, when we start into a place where we are from ground zero, it is nice to break down into smaller achievable goals. So we'll always talk about SMART goals, like measurable, achievable, time bound. But what I tend to do with my client is give them something to look forward to. So it can be an event, it can be a competition, it can be something. Sometimes it is just like, in the next 3 months, I'd like to feel like happy to go to the gym 3 times a week. Yeah. Start small. Because if you start at 0, no one is going to expect you to become a marathon runner. No one is going to expect you to go and train at the gym 2 hours, 5 times a week. That is completely unrealistic of anyone who starts from nowhere. As we were saying, feeding into your plan, yes, so knowing when you are ready, what kind of commitment and how much commitment you're ready to give to that routine. Then choosing the activities you enjoy and trying to fit that into that schedule. If you're someone who likes to stay at home and do your workouts at home, then perfect. If you're someone who needs to go to the gym, then plan this in the schedule, after work, before work, you know, morning, evening, anything that is personalized to you, and fit that into your small goals. I would like to at least go twice a week to the gym by the end of week 8. But if you go only once to the office, that may be a bit more difficult, because now with the pandemic, obviously, we kind of struggle to find a routine that works for us. I'm like, including myself, but being self-employed, I have to manage my routine a bit more strictly, because otherwise we can easily just spend energy in a lot of different things, but not necessarily in the things that really matter. So try and really focus on that. If you only go to the office once a week, then you are going to try and fit another form of exercise that you enjoy that doesn't necessarily require to go to a gym that is next to your work. Okay, so getting into the goals like this is understanding what really is realistic for you to do and how you can fit everything into your plan and find goals that you know you'll be able to achieve, and start very small. Start small. I can't begin to explain, like I was telling you at the beginning of this podcast, 5 minutes, put a song, get out and just dance. Sometimes that's how small it needs to be. 5-minute stretches, 5 minutes dancing, 5 minutes breath work, 5 minutes walk. Even if it's just 5 minutes, there's a really, really good book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it does say this, even if it's you walking to the gym, going 5 minutes on the treadmill and going back, that is still your 5 minutes. Remember that once per week to the gym equals 52 times per year. And that's already better than 0. Remember that, always remember that. So when your mental health is like this and you don't have the motivation, remember that even the smallest thing can compound into really big results in the future. And as you start, I started this when I came out of the pandemic. I wasn't training for myself at all. I was interested in doing 0 training. I started very small. I started by doing a quick workout 10-15 minutes before my classes, so I didn't have a choice. I would go either before or after. For me, I find it before is easier. Sometimes if I miss the time window and I just get there on time to teach my class, it will be a lot harder for me to get motivated to go afterwards. So I really try and do this beforehand. But I started with a 10-minute workout before my class, then it went into a 20-minute workout, then it went into a 30-minute workout. And next thing you know, my 30-minute workout, I started it doing twice a week and then 3 times a week. And now I'm doing 4 small workouts in the week, but something between 3 and 4 small workouts. My workouts now, I would say 2 of my workouts go up to about an hour, and another 2 of my workouts won't exceed half an hour. So always really slowly and surely compound, yeah? But as you start moving, as you start doing things, you will really feel the benefits. Your body will naturally feel the benefits. So I've come off my meds as well, and I believe that having that small discipline at the beginning has really helped me come off the meds a lot faster and with a lot more ease, I would say, because it really helped, you know, the benefit of exercising really kind of helped with my brain function, my mental health, and my dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, all my neurotransmitter levels. So when I tapered my medication and came off them, I was already in a routine that made me feel good. And really, you have to trust me, like coming from that experience, it just has to be small. A lot of my clients are also training with me because otherwise they don't have the motivation. That feeds into strategy number 4. But the aim for them is to be able to feel independently willing to go to the gym as well. And once they start doing this, there is a lot of satisfaction from the pride of doing something for themselves without having someone or taking them accountable. Is finding that accountability for yourself that is healthy for you, is finding that you feel really good afterwards because you've done something you enjoy, because you've planned around your life, because you have set goals that are meaningful to you and quite easy to achieve. Everything feeds into each other. So strategy number 4 is remember that you don't have to exercise alone, okay? So whether it's a friend, whether you're using a coach to help you, you don't have to be alone. It's nice, and it's quite, it can help to feel accountable as well to someone. Being accountable to yourself is a beautiful thing, but it's not always the thing that works. And that is me included. So sharing your goals with people, finding me, you know, this is where like people like me come in. We're here to help you create that plan. So for example, if you don't know how to plan, if you don't know how to write your goals, if you don't know what's realistic, this is where a coach helps you, and this is where a coach makes you accountable to keep up with it. So if a coach gives you goals that you don't feel aligned with, a plan that you don't feel aligned with, I'd say try and discuss with them how important it is for you to just have this benefit for your mental health first, yeah? So we're not looking at physical aspect, we're looking at really improving the mental health first. So for me and for a lot of my clients is making it easy. Finding exercises that are easy enough to follow so that when they decide to go and do things by themselves, they don't have to think twice about what they're doing. That's, for example, something that can easily impact how well you are sticking to your routine. Okay, you can use a friend, go to classes. Going to classes and make friends, I find this is very useful as well. And the last strategy, number 5, is don't forget to warm up, cool down, and stretch after your exercise. The reason being is that warming up helps your nervous system get set, and your cool down and stretches help your nervous system relax, and that will help into regulating your nervous system better and ultimately help your mental health regulate itself. So because, you know, mental health, anxiety in particular, is a lot of nervous system dysregulation. So if you miss out on the opportunity to get the blood flow going, to get the heart rate rising, you will kind of miss out on the opportunity for your nervous system to understand that it needs the excitement, it needs the stimulation, the workout is happening, and then in the cool down, it teaches your brain and your nervous system to be like, this is over now, we can relax. So then in the rest of your life, in your daily life, your brain is better adapted to evaluate when it needs to be active and when it needs to relax. And you become a lot more self-aware as well of how to find a bit more peace in your life. So I hope that this was very helpful for you, and I hope that you will share it with your friends or the people that you know need to watch or listen to this. And obviously, as I said, if you feel like you have any questions, without any commitment, there is a page on my website, there is a page on my Instagram, there is a page where you can book a 20-minute call with me where we can cover these elements. So the elements of planning, the elements of finding your goals, planning around that, and just trying to get you a bit more set for success. This is a free call. It's called a free coaching call that I give to anyone who books with me. And then you can decide if you want to go on and do your routine by itself. So this is just to set you up and help you answer questions that you might have into setting your routine and finding the best way for you to exercise for mental health and just make your habits stick a little bit better. So you can always message me, you can always DM me, or you can find the link in the show notes, in my Instagram, on my website to book a call with me, and I'll be very, very happy to help you get started on your health journey. I hope that you have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you, or you will hear me soon. Bye.